Are you ready?
Oh, yeah!
Strap yourselves in for the Gaming Hub. With your hosts, Tyler.
You can't handle the truth!
Graham.
The force is strong in this way.
And Steven.
You cannot be serious!
Let's get started.
Alrighty then.
Hey everybody, welcome into the Gaming Hub. I'm your host Tyler. Thank you so much for joining us. This is episode number 116, and joining me is one of our two co-hosts. Graham is still on vacation for another week, but Steven's joining me today. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I got to play some Madden this week. That's exciting. Picked up Dead Cells as well. Not necessarily due to the controversy, though that did help put the game in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like summer's almost over. Like at this point, like thank God. I'm over it. It's almost time to go back to school, both, college and then work. And I'm kind of excited about that. So
Yeah.
How about you? What have you been doing?
Well, I got to play Madden too, and I was thinking about you saying summer's almost over. And thank God or whatever. But like I remember in February, excuse me, I sat here saying, my God, I just want it to be summer. And now it's like stupid hot. It's been stupid hot the better part of the summer.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of ready for some fall weather, and to the point where I'm even watching like preseason football, which I don't ever do. So part of that is just because my favorite baseball team is terrible and out of it. But, but speaking of football, I got to play Madden. Finally. Like, after all the debacle around EA Access early trial, that not working, EA just being totally silent on any sort of solution for it, Xbox being totally silent on any sort of solution for it. The game finally came out. I got the Hall of Fame edition on Tuesday. Have been playing Small Team, played through Long Shot, pretty short campaign, thankfully. And although I will say the Colt story this time around is better than what we saw last time. So kind of enjoyed that. But yeah, we'll talk about Madden a lot in our special review episode, which will be a time Patreon exclusive. But I just want to point out, like, Steven, it's been really unfair with Ultimate Team pack pulls. Like, you have done so much better than I have. And
I wish.
So
not anywhere close to being a true statement.
I've actually had really, really good luck. And but I mean, pre-order I got the 89 Antonio Brown, but I've also pulled like 89 or 87 Randy Moss, 87 Michael Vick, 89 or 88 Steve Hutchinson, 87 or 88 Odell Beckham Jr., all those types of guys. I've pulled a lot of really good stuff early on. So having a lot of fun with that. It did not pay off the first time we played each other, but I didn't have most of those players then.
First two times.
The first two times, which were back to back on stream. But I didn't have most of those players then, so we'll try it again today and see how it goes. But yeah, Madden so far has been actually pretty fun. I'm liking how Ultimate Team's set up. I like that, Long Shot has a story to it, but it's not it's kind of cliched, but it's not too long, and it's not like super cliched, so that's good. But yeah, I mean, it's been an up and down week for me. I had some stuff go on that is unfortunate, and unfortunately I had a family member pass away this week, which is no fun. So yeah, I've been bummed out about that. Not like an immediate family member, but someone that I was close to growing up. So that sucks. But other than that, work is work. And, did get a chance to play Madden this week. So that's been cool. But hey, let's talk about video games. How about we do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Sure. First of all, before we get into that, I want to talk about the ways that you can join our community. So you can go to Facebook and go to the Gaming Hub forums and take part there. You can also go to Twitch, look up TXH Gaming Hub on Twitch, hit follow for us. And from either of those places, you can go to our Discord. You can join our Discord, which is approaching a milestone in members right now, which is kind of cool. So maybe you could be the one to put it over that. But you can get that link through Facebook or on Twitch. You can also check out our YouTube channel, the Gaming Hub Podcast on YouTube. And make sure to go to the xboxhub.com for all the latest in all your Xbox gaming news, and the switchhub.com for the latest in all your Switch gaming news. So with that, let's get into the news of the week, and we kind of got a lot to talk about. So a game that we're really excited for, and I wish Graham was here to defend himself against this, because the Red Dead 2 gameplay trailer came out this week, and my lord, it looks amazing. Steven, I want to get your thoughts on it. What do you think?
Yes, I agree. It does look amazing. I watched it in 4K, which I plan on playing it in, hopefully, unless I stream it, because then it's only 1080p, and that makes me sad. Because in 4K, it looks really freaking good. And, it did exactly what I knew it was going to do, and exactly what I told Tyler that I didn't want to happen. And it made me so hyped, and I just want to watch more and more and more of this game. And now I can't wait for October, and nothing good is going to come out before then, because it's not going to be Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
And that is a little frustrating, because I do. Yeah. I mean, I do it to myself. I can't control it. It just the hype levels,
Yeah. Because you're the type that you try to avoid everything, so you don't get too excited. Yes. Because if you see a little bit, you want to see everything.
Yes.
And then nothing else compares to that along the way, right? So,
yep.
And that's kind of where you're at now, unfortunately.
Yeah, and even it's not just games. I do it with games too. I do it with games and movies where you go down to binge watch a TV show that's been out for 8-9 seasons, and the first time watching it, so you start looking things up about the characters, because you're I really like this guy, and then you get something spoiled for you 4 seasons into the show, and you're like, why do I do this to myself? And I do that with games. I'll be playing the game, look something up about a character, and spoil. So I try not to do anything. Yeah, I know if I go down that rabbit hole, things get ruined.
You did that with The West Wing recently, didn't you? You'd never seen it.
I did.
Yeah, I kind of got you into that, and then you started looking stuff up because you're too curious. Can't just watch it to find out, because you'll get all those answers anyway. But yeah, so I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm already sold on the game. It's already pre-ordered. It's, I'm getting it no matter what. So I didn't really need to see it, but we wanted to see it to talk about it here. And it did absolutely nothing to make me think I'm making a bad decision by getting the game on day one. Is this the runaway game of the year from what you've seen so far?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Even over God of War?
Yes. I think there's just more content in Red Dead. It'll be open world, which I think, despite what people in the games media might say, I think open world just adds points to games. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, just the ability to go anywhere and do anything when you want to, and then do the story, and then have it all kind of feel smooth still, is just pretty awesome. Yeah. And everything I saw in the trailer looked fun.
Well, and there's all these other things to do too now that weren't there before. So you have to set up camp all the time, right? And you have to communicate and build relationships with all the people that are in the gang.
Well, you don't have to, but
you don't have to, but you should, and it helps the experience in the game, right? So there's different things you can have them do to get more supplies and help strengthen the gang and all that stuff. That really wasn't in the first game. So that's going to add a whole other dynamic to it. I love the idea that it's as simple as if you walk into town with your shotgun kind of holstered over your back, people will come up to you and talk to you. But if you don't, if you're holding it in your hand, they run away. Little things like that. And I know that some people kind of expect that in games now, but not a lot of games do that still. Just little things like that go a long, long way. How you talk to somebody can totally change the conversation and what the outcome will be. I love all that. Rockstar is tried and true in so many ways. They're coming off of one of the best games in the last 20 years, if not ever, in GTA 5. My only concern about this game, Steven, is the online.
Yes.
So
I agree with you there.
Yeah. And we still haven't really seen anything on it. So I wonder when we're really going to get a taste of that, what that's going to look like. Do you want it to be just like GTA Online?
No,
But in the Red Dead world, no. What
I don't
what
like
do you?
GTA Online.
I don't either, but I know a lot of people do though. I think we just got into it way too late. That's part of it. Like we didn't know what the hell we were doing. What do you want it to be? I
don't know. I guess like Red Dead 1, or Red Dead Redemption 1 for those of you that freak out over that. You know? I like the online there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd like to see it be where you can go in and then you can co-op stuff with other people and like do like some heists, maybe a bank robbery or a train robbery, or like go and, you know, attack the outposts of like rival gangs, or, you know, defense against like the government coming and knocking down at your outpost or whatever. Because that's the way your gang's on the run from, like, you're trying to stay a step ahead from progress, and you know, and that includes the government's chasing you down and trying to you know, get rid of you. And so that's what I would like to see. I don't need like horse races, which is what seemed like GTA Online kind of was.
Yeah, a lot of the races. I mean, they were kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean,
I just can't imagine doing it, you know, over and over for hours.
Yeah. I mean, I won one online like the last time we played, but I was like, you know, I didn't feel accomplished, and I don't play games to feel accomplished, but like, you know, when we talk about Madden, you know, you open a pack, and I know that's spending real money, and that's getting into a whole other argument. But you know, when you pull like the 88, and then you feel like really good, and then, you know, I'm watching you pull an 88, and I just want to like hit you. Like,
I know.
I'm just throwing that jab in there, but like that feeling feels good, you know. Or when I guess a better one would be like Diablo, when you kill the monster and then you get the legendary item, or in Destiny 2, you know, you pull the legendary or exotic engram after like the raid, and that feels phenomenal. Like GTA Online doesn't do that to me, and I'm sure there are people that it does, you know, maybe do that too. But to me, it's just like something. It's like a time killer without any sense of like accomplishment, and that is why I don't love it. If Red Dead 2 Online is like that, I'm gonna probably avoid it and just play through the single player like I did with GTA for the most part.
Yeah, and that's fair. And I get what you're saying about that, like feeling accomplishment or that feeling of excitement from getting something really cool or doing something cool. Like when I streamed on day one of Madden on Tuesday, you know, you were watching when I pulled the Richard Sherman 87 overall, and I saw it like a little kid. I was like, you know, that's really cool. Stuff like that is really cool and fun. Side note, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but I did want to point it out now that I'm thinking of it, is, man, I was reading comments, and it was just all the anti-EA stuff again, and whatever. Like, they dropped the ball on the Madden trial and all that. And I haven't forgotten about it just because the game's out now, which is I know what they want. But anyway, there's somebody out there, and like they should be ashamed of themselves for Ultimate Team and teaching kids to gamble. Just stop.
Well,
like no.
Part of me is kind of on the it might be gambling, because like, all right, here's what happened today. So Tyler opens up these legend packs that cost probably $45, right? And he's pulling like 88, 88, 88, 88. Like I get like 6 pictures of it. So also that makes you kind of a jerk, Tyler. And I'm watching my mouth.
You were asking what I got.
Worse word. No, well, you kind of wanted me to ask. So I'm like, I don't want to. And then I did it because, you know, I have no self-control. And that is on me. But like, you know, and then I pull garbage. And it just, like, the first instinct was like, all right, buy another one because, you know, it's bound not to be garbage.
That's where it's addicting.
And it's addicting, and it is real money it's arguably worse than gambling because you're not even getting the potential of winning money back. You're getting cards in a video game or, you know, characters in Star Wars Battlefront. Like, so I'd say it is kind of worse than gambling.
So here's what I'm going to say. So 2 things. One, we talked about this last week, but I'll say it again real quick. Ultimate Team in EA Sports games or Diamond Dynasty in MLB or whatever it's called in NBA 2K, I forget. But you're not required to open packs to play the game. That is a mode in the game, one of many, that you can play, right? So it's not like Battlefront where the stuff you bought in those crates or whatever gives you an advantage across the game. This doesn't do that, right? And then second, the whole dude, the kids argument just gets to me every time. I'm sorry. It's not EA's responsibility to raise your children.
No, you shouldn't put a credit card on your account if you have a kid playing. Because if I was a kid, it's tempting. It was tempting. I remember back on the 360 days, I had my mom's credit card or whatever on my Xbox account to pay for Xbox Live. Thanks, Mom. You can make fun of me for that, whatever. I was a high school kid. She paid for it for the year. But it's tempting not to, I was more scared of my mom if I bought something dumb because I know, my parents were responsible and looked at their bill for anything. Probably more than I am, now with my own debit cards. And
here's what I do, dude. I put myself on a budget, and here's how I do it. I buy the prepaid Xbox cards.
Yes.
And then I have that balance, and if I have money in that balance for what I want, then I can get it.
That is smart. That is not what I do.
I know, but I buy one of the cards every time I get paid, right? And right now I buy more because I want to pre-order games and not have them all hit the moment they're available for download, because they don't hit your account anymore when you pre-order it. They hit it when it's available for download. And thanks, I think, to South Park for that, or Ubisoft in general, for delaying games 18 times.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's smart. I should do that. I have, it's hard not to just buy stuff. And that's just the way to go, I think, because otherwise, you can easily spend not even in packs and crates and stuff, but even say you want to buy movies, right? And there's a movie sale and there's all these movies for, say, I don't know, Steven, $15. $10. They were $10.
Okay. $10. All these movies for, say, $10 from a certain series. Say it's the Marvel universe.
That was worth it.
And you buy a couple, and then you're like, well, I want some more. And then you get to the point, the point of no return, where it's well, now I just need to have the whole series, right? Yeah. And when that was all said and done, how much had you spent?
$200.
So there you go.
But that's 18 movies. That's not that bad of a deal for movies I like to watch.
Sure. No, but that's not my point. Whether it's worth it or not is not the point.
That's okay. All right.
It's the idea that, okay, it's just another $10. It's just another $10,
It's
worst
in the world.
Yeah. So that's what gets people down that, that hole. And
so if we have any financial advisors that want to advise me financially, hit me up. The Gaming Hut Podcast at gmail.com.
So at least you only spent $45 today.
That's true. Stephen with the B.
Yeah.
Know how I justified it though?
Sure, go for it.
Is the game sharing? So someone else bought, Madden, and so I'm like, I didn't buy Madden, so well, if I would have spent $60 on the game originally, well, I can spend $60 on the Madden Ultimate Team and be fine, because it just kind of evens out.
Yeah.
And actually, really, it would have been $80 because I probably would have bought the Hall of Fame edition.
Well, at least you didn't message Xbox and say, "What about the children?" So thank you. But anyway, I'm sorry, totally off topic, but when people say that, it's just because they want it to be that way, but they don't know how to argue it because they can't. So they just say, "What about the kids?" And sorry. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Let's talk about Discord. A platform that we've both grown to love quite a bit in the last year or so. And thanks again to our Discord community. We really appreciate everybody that's in there. You keep a great conversation going all the time, and we love that. But if you're a member of our Discord community or any Discord community, Discord's launching a game store. So what they're trying to do is be like a mom and pop game store, and they're trying to focus on indie titles. And games are being added to their subscription service. So you can purchase games right from there to be downloaded to your PC. And like I said, they're focusing on indie games. So, Steven, your thoughts on this? Like, it's never a bad thing, right?
No, and just to clarify, like how they're gonna be in mom and pop stores is they're gonna like curate a game like games, and so like with community votes, and then the people that work up at Discord are gonna pick the games that are allowed to be on their store. So it's not gonna be like Steam where there's like 400 games uploaded every day and 395 of them might be garbage, and those five that are not AAA games will slip through the cracks, because that happens. And so that's what it seems like they're trying to combat here. And then they're gonna have like a Game Pass or whatever you want to compare it to, or Humble Monthly, I guess would be the best comparison, where you get games.
Yeah, that's probably the best.
Based on the subscription, and you get other bonuses. You can add like I call them GIFs, even if the creator said they're GIFs, graphical imaging, whatever the heck the F stands for. Thing like you get extra bonuses, and for what I think is like $8 a month or $5 a month, something like that, somewhere in that range. It's not a bad deal if the games don't suck. But Humble Monthly is like $12 or $15 a month for like $200 worth of games, and a lot of them are really good. And you automatically get like a AAA title like almost every month. In there. So PC is if you're on a budget. I mean, the PC part of it does cost a little bit of money, but you can get games pretty cheaply.
Yeah, and once you have the PC, like you're in, and as long as it's good enough.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between being able to play Fortnite and being able to play Witcher 3.
Yes.
With the power of your box. So.
Yeah, and the only annoying part about the service thing is just how many different places you have to go to like get games. Like at least with Humble Monthly, you can add them to your Steam libraries. Like you use they give you the codes, and then you enter them into Steam, and then now they're in the Steam library. Now you have like if you have GOG, Steam, EA, Origin, Premiere, or whatever it is called, and now this, like that's 4 different places, and it can be just kind of annoying to find your games. You're like, where did I buy this game? When you 6 months down the line, you own a game, and you're like, which service did I buy this on?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think it'll be good. And, Discord is growing in popularity just immensely. And it's been around for a while. But it's really seems to have taken off in the last, year and a half to 2 years? So,
well, with us, I think PC's been using it for a long time, because you can use voice chat really well. So like I think the big MMORPGs have been using it for a while to do raids and stuff, and just to have voice chat capabilities while you're playing games, because the games themselves never had voice chat.
But I mean, coming out of just the PC gamer space into other things, right? So it seems to have really grown and kind of taken off, which is awesome. Like, good for them. And I know it's been around for a while, and I know a lot of people really prefer it. And I personally think it's great. I prefer it over like Facebook and other stuff. Is way of communicating.
I do, except if you have like something you really want to talk about. Like, I know you can make your own threads and stuff and then delete them later, but the people that are in charge of the Discord communities. But Facebook is easy, where you can, have a post that blows up to 600 comments. If the general section of Discord blows up to 600 comments, it's kind of hard to find. Like we've had, and I love that there's so many people talking, but like 3 different conversations in general going on at once, and it's like,
yeah, I know.
Wait, who am I talking to? What was this regarding? Like, I'm so confused.
I know.
But no, Discord's great, and you guys should come join it. There's a lot of different things to talk about in there, and people are great and super fun.
Yeah, and you get like special recognition in our Discord if you're a patron, which is cool. It's like a cool little perk. By the way, if you ever thought about becoming a patron to our show, now's the time, because we're giving away a game next week, a full $60 game to anyone. We'll draw from the list of people that are at the $5 or more patron level. So if you ever thought about signing up, do it now. Patreon.com/GamingHub. And you get that cool little thing on Discord, and you'll be entered to win a $60 game. So that is that. Anything else on Discord, Steven? Before we move on to the meat of the week, like what we really want to talk about.
Yeah, Fortnite skins.
No.
No, there's nothing else on Discord.
Was there a review written on Fortnite skins this week?
I'm sure there was. At some point by someone.
Who was it stolen from?
That's the question. That's
so,
the day here.
Yeah. So, all right. This week, we've talked about ethics in video game journalism before. And I've almost always sort of taken the side of the journalists because I think, we'll call it the mob, gets a little excited about stuff sometimes. But this week, we saw an instance of plagiarism in video game journalism that, to me, and I think to you too, Stephen, was pretty cut and dry.
Yes.
Like, this wasn't, it was a mistake and it was accidental and, blah, blah, blah. And we'll get to that whole response in a couple minutes. But anyway, Philip, is it Muchin or Musin from IGN?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Formerly of IGN. He was the lead on the Nintendo Voice Chat podcast and one of the editors there. And he kind of came up through making YouTube videos and got noticed and got picked up by IGN, worked for them, and he had a pretty decent fan base through IGN. His review of Dead Cells got called out by the guy over at Boomstick Gaming, the YouTube channel. And the guy at Boomstick put up a video saying, IGN copied my Dead Cells review, what do I do? And he kind of detailed in this video all these instances where his review was basically word for word used by Philip's review, which came out days later.
Well, it wasn't word for word. It was change the words and like the order of it is, but the idea. Yes. And here's where plagiarism is. It's not just changing the words and being like good. He stole exactly like the ideas, like almost minute by minute. If you compare it, because they compared the video reviews.
Yep.
And at like the same point in both videos, they talk about the same thing, and just Philip just changed some words around in the order of it and was like, all right, we're good now.
So, no, you're right. And this is textbook, like, sorry, but moron college students, like someone who just doesn't have a clue, but thinks they do. Plagiarism.
Yes.
Because they're like, okay, well, I read this book, and here's a really cool paragraph by this author, so I'm just going to change around a few words, but leave all the keywords and the key descriptive words and like the impactful statements pretty much intact. Few different word changes, and then change around the wording and a little bit of the tone. And now it's my work. I just I put in my own words. That's plagiarism. Plagiarism is not copy and paste word for word. Plagiarism is stealing someone else's idea. So, yes, there are a lot of instances, especially in like video game reviews, where the same words get used. I review games for the XboxHub.com. I use a lot of words like, when I talk about gameplay, I'll say the gameplay is really smooth, or it's really choppy, or there's a lot of like input lag, or something like that, right? Those words probably get used in like 30 other reviews for the same game. So it's not that. It's that there were enough of these things strung together and like overall thoughts about a specific part of the game being exactly the same, that this just looked like just cut and dry plagiarism. So, Steve, I don't want to ask you whether or not it was. We've decided it was. And so a lot of other people. How severe do you think it is? Like, is it a big deal?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't understand. People are like, well, it's just plagiarism. No, you're trying to steal other people's intellectual property and pass it off as your own. And like, so you're cheating your company, you're cheating your fans, you're cheating anyone that comes to the site, you're cheating the other people out of their clicks and revenue or whatever have you. Especially when you're the big guy stealing from the little guy. And like, IGN is not a bad company here. They in no way should be blamed for this. How though? But now you've made it easy for people to attack IGN and be like, of course the big guy's stealing from the little guy, because they can. And there's tons of problems here with this, and that's not even talking about plagiarism. yes, plagiarizing is a big deal, in my opinion. It's really stupid as well. Like, you're going to get caught. And if you've done it once, as Jason Schreier pointed out in his Kotaku article on it, you've probably done it multiple times. And he also stole FIFA 18 review from Nintendo Life.
Yep.
In his
and it just came out another game.
Yeah, and I didn't even see the third one.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but it was just like today or last night surfaced, and it's going to pile on at this point.
Yeah,
especially after the response that this guy gave.
Yeah, that one may not. It didn't even make me.
Let's get to the response in a second.
All right.
So here's my take. First of all, anybody that's like yelling at IGN or whatever, just stop. IGN has handled this about as perfectly as they could.
Yes.
They launched an immediate investigation. The investigation was quick. It wasn't like one of those fake investigations where they like wait long enough for it to die down and then let the guy just go back and keep working.
Yeah.
Like that investigation was done in hours, basically, like in most a day. And
yeah, I think the video popped up on, what was it, like Tuesday night, maybe? Tuesday or Wednesday night. And then, it blew up.
The next day, they said they were taking down the review and launching an investigation.
Yeah. But in the morning, they took it down, and then in the afternoon, he was gone.
Yep. And then in the afternoon, they updated it. They launched another statement saying they take this very seriously. And they have, what was the word they used? Separated from the individual. So there are some things that I thought IGN handled incredibly well and were very classy about. So one, they didn't attack the guy. Like, the guy's going to get attacked enough as it is.
Yes. By the way, real quick, don't attack the dude's family and send him death threats. Okay, it's plagiarism. It's not like I don't want to say it's not like he murdered people, because that's what people have been saying to make it like plagiarism isn't a big deal, because it is a big deal. But it's not death threat worthy or attacking his family worthy. So
get over it. Like, get over that part of it. Like, it's not life changing to you. It's not going to affect whether or not you like Dead Cells. And in fact, I would argue, and this isn't in defense of him at all, but that Dead Cells and Boomstick Gaming benefit quite a bit from this.
Yes.
So this is probably the best thing that happened to, for sure, Boomstick. And maybe Dead Cells too, because it brought all this tension to their game, right? So, and it is, by all accounts, an awesome game. Steve, you played it.
Yeah, it's very addicting. It's like 2D Dark Soul, Castlevania-esque, roguelike. All those, what are the words, little fun words that have been going around. But it's addicting. Like, it's one of those games where you're like, one more run. Like I was playing, I died like 10 minutes, and I'm like, all right, I'll do one more because it's like 10 minutes. And I lasted like 45 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, well, now I should go eat. And then but I don't put the controller down. And then another 45 minutes later, I'm like, okay, all right, I got to quit because I got to go eat because I'm starving. But it's really fun. It's an amazing game.
Yeah. Real quick, my thoughts on this before we talk about the quote response. But okay. I went to graduate school and studied in a field that is super writing intensive. And I take plagiarism incredibly seriously. Like, it was drilled into my head. Like, don't steal ideas from other people. People work a long time and they work hard to get content out, whether it's written content, whether it's writing a book, a research project, or putting out a video or a podcast or anything, right? That is their intellectual property and it's theirs. Like, you can reference it, you can source it, but you cannot steal it and claim that it's yours. And that's what happened here. Okay? The people that are defending it and saying, no big deal, it's just plagiarism, like, I'm sorry, but you don't get it.
Yeah. And
so, hang on. I'm not done yet.
Okay,
I'm definitely not done yet. So, I think that there have been times where our show has been stolen from ideas or way we talk about things or things we do for the community by smaller shows. And there have been times where I've addressed it. We had Paris Lilly from Gamertag Radio on right in episode 100, actually. His show got stolen from with that viral video of Paris coming out of the Cyberpunk 2077 demo at E3. Like, Danny Payne posted that video on his Twitter account and on Gamertag Radio's Twitter account, and then there were people stealing it and putting it up on their own YouTube accounts and getting hundreds of thousands of views and monetizing it. That is not okay. And I'm sorry, it's not just the Wild West when it comes to people's ideas. Get your own ideas. Because there are times where we listen to other shows after we record and we're like, you know, man, I really wish we talked about it that way. They did it better than we did. And that's all right. We're not going to steal from them, though. In fact, even just this week, I don't even remember what it was, but we were talking about, like, man, I'd love to talk about it this way, but this other thing already did that, and I don't want to steal from them. And I don't remember exactly what it was, beside the point. But I've heard the dumbest arguments over the course of my life. I once knew someone, I swear to God, everybody, made the argument to me that once you see a movie in the movie theater, you own the movie and can download it illegally and watch it, because if you show the movie stuff, the ticket stuff from the movie theater to the judge, he'll just laugh and dismiss the case because you own the movie. Swear to God, that's what people actually think. I hope not more than one person. But intellectual property is intellectual property. And it doesn't matter if it's the super small one stealing from the behemoth or the other way around. Because the other thing that's complete BS is the argument that, like, say a small one stole from IGN. Well, IGN makes enough money. That's not up to anybody to decide.
Yeah.
They also have to employ more people, staff more people, put out more content, better content. They're held to a significantly higher standard, which all costs more money for them. So I feel extremely strongly about this. And I think that this guy, Philip, and now I want to talk about his response, Steven. At first, I want to let you get your other point out, because I know you were about to say something.
Yeah, I was just going to say, IGN had to fire him. Like, if they
did not
fire him, then they lost all credibility. And he would not, they couldn't ever, anything he posts or has ever written in the past would be questioned. And then IGN as a whole would be questioned. Every single writer. So, like, those that saying that Philip shouldn't have been fired, and just like, no. There was no way he was getting out without being fired. Mm-hmm. I mean, in college, you get, for me, it's like 2 strikes, basically. If you plagiarize once, you get failed in the class, and then put on academic probation, I think. Yep. And it depends on how bad the plagiarism is, too. And then the second time, you're kicked out. You're done.
And I'll tell you, where I went, there was no probation or anything.
Well, but that's a little different, graduate school versus just regular college. But to be honest with you, like, if you plagiarize once, you're going to do it again.
And that was shown here.
Yeah. And I think the other one was Samus Returns, by the way.
Yes, that is exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all right. I'm going to say this, because I reviewed games, and I'm actually in process of reviewing Madden 18 right now. Or 19, sorry. I should review Madden 8. That'd be really easy. But 19. When I very, very first started doing reviews, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, I would sometimes look at other people's reviews just to see, like, tone and structure and things like that. But I stopped doing that and I stopped really fast, because what I found is that it's really hard to not get their ideas and their flow and their way they say things into your head. And I had to fight myself. Like, I found that I was writing stuff that, when I'd look over a paragraph I wrote, I'm like, man, it's really similar. And I'd have to go redo it. So I don't look at anybody's reviews anymore. I don't look at anything, video review or written review, before I type out a review for a game. And, like, the most I allow myself to do, just full disclosure, is the Madden 19 review for IGN came out early. So I did what everybody does, and I opened it and scrolled all the way to the bottom and looked at the score. That was it, and I closed it. But I didn't read the actual text, because I want my thoughts to be my own. I didn't want to be influenced in any way or have, like, I don't know, the tone or anything put in my head. for when I sit down to write. That brings me to his response, because he said that he uses all resources available to him when he researches. And translation means he goes and reads a bunch of other reviews and watches a bunch of other review videos before he writes. What are your thoughts on that?
It was really dumb. Because you're now going to be biased one way or the other. Because you may like something, but it's one of those things where, like, if you tell someone that they're going to hate something, they kind of go in thinking they're going to hate it, or, you know, whatever. And so it automatically biases you. And it's just stupid.
Or if you say these types of controls are not very responsive.
Yes.
Then throughout your playthrough, you're going to be looking for that.
Yeah.
And it's just going to reinforce it. You're not going to come up with your own opinion on it.
I assume he had played the game enough to review it, but just looked at other reviews before, because just based on deadlines for games having, like, or
right.
IGN, I assume, wants the review up as soon as embargo lifts.
Yes, but even if you've played the game already and then looked at other reviews before you start writing, it's still going to put that stuff in your head.
Yes, and you'll think back to your playthrough and, like, did I cover that? And then you might just make stuff up, or, you know, your brain has a way of tricking you.
But the way that he, like, thought for thought down the line went through that review versus that review video from Boomstick, like, that just kind of implies that he was playing the video while he was writing.
Probably multiple times.
Yeah, over and over, yeah. So, I don't know, man. I think his so-called apology, it wasn't an apology. It was more, I'm sorry I got caught type deal. And then it was embarrassing. And I'm embarrassed for him. It says more about IGN. They did the right thing by letting him go. Not the type of person, if that's your definition of character, then I'm sorry, but you shouldn't represent them anyway. Because take ownership for it. Just say, I did it, I messed up, I'm sorry. And I promise you, if you give me another chance on YouTube or whatever, it'll never happen again. That's how you begin to rebuild. But he didn't. He basically just dismissed it, and he attacked Jason Schreier from Kotaku, claiming Jason Schreier needs clicks. Jason Schreier has a published book. And this guy does not.
I was in a thread where someone called Jason Schreier, like, garbage as well as Kotaku. I'm like, what are you talking about? Schreier's a great writer, and his book's amazing. You're an idiot. But I didn't say that because I don't want to, add to the toxicity of.
No, there's no point in it. But so, what do you think he should have said?
He apologized. He should have apologized.
Yeah.
And not, tried to hype his YouTube channel up, not monetize.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to point out. He monetized his video where he apologized and made it so you couldn't play it from anywhere else. You could only play it from his channel, and he's monetizing it. Are you kidding?
Well, I mean, people did the mirror thing where they downloaded the video, and that's how I watched it. I didn't watch it on his channel. I refused to give him the click. I watched it in a mirror channel. So, it was just like on Facebook too. So even they didn't. They were like, I don't want the clicks, so I don't need the clicks, but this is the video. No, what a douche. Like that.
You don't I don't call that crap.
I don't call people names, or I try not to. Okay, maybe I do, but I try not to. I try to be professional here. But oh my gosh, like the dude deserves like everything that kind of comes at him.
Except the threats. Except the threats and all that stuff.
But no, you're not credible anymore. I don't think. Well, his review or his non-apology got taken down, by the way. Almost as fast as his review for the game got taken down.
Well, I watched it this morning.
Yeah, and I think it just got taken down.
That would have to be by him, wouldn't it, or is it by YouTube?
Well, the like to dislike ratio was really bad, so who knows?
It was pretty extreme. Yeah, he had like 18. He had like 1,800 likes and over 12,000 dislikes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll do it. But that just tells you that he had that many views too, which is unfortunate. So, but yeah, the fact that you monetize this tells me that you haven't learned a damn thing.
Yep, he does not feel bad about it.
No, he doesn't.
No.
He's playing the role of the victim here. And if he had just come out and said, you know what, I made a mistake, I effed up, I've had a lot of stresses lately, blah, 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 deadlines, all this stuff. That, it still would have been lame, but at least would have been kind of understandable. And you maybe say, okay, maybe this guy deserves a second chance if he works hard, blah, blah, blah. Because I do believe everybody deserves a second chance. But when you don't own up for what you did, then do you?
No, I think you're getting a second chance depends on how you react to getting your first chance blown. And I just don't think he can, like, even if he did apologize, like, who's going to trust him enough to give him that second chance?
Yep.
No, he would have to do it only on his YouTube channel, and he would never get game copies early, because if you're a game publisher, would you want to send a game to a guy who's just going to copy someone else's review? Like, is that fair to you? I'd say no.
Right.
I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, are you going to send this guy codes? No.
Yeah.
Here's the last thing I want to say about this, and then I'll turn to you for any closing thoughts. But people talk about this as, again, we're talking about ethics in video game journalism. And I would argue that, no, we're not. We're talking about ethics of a video game journalist.
Yes.
Of one individual who had poor ethics. Not the industry in general. Because his employer, which, by the way, is the one who catches the most heat and flack from the community, the video game community, handled this beautifully. And in a way that says they stand for ethics and they stand for this not happening. And they did it incredibly fast. This isn't about video games journalism. This is about one person. We talked about it on our show. We saw a review for God of War go up that was 750 words long and spoke in such vague terms that it was very obvious that the game had never been played by the person writing the review, and that general ideas were taken from other, like, remember, God of War, the bigger sites got to review the game really early.
Yeah, IGN's review was out like 2 or 3 weeks early.
Yeah. At the very least, like 10 days. It was really early. And all of a sudden this site gets it, which we're not going to name it, but they get it. They're nowhere near big enough. And we reached out to them because we had known them from the past. And we said, here's what we see. Can't stress enough, you should take this down right now. And they didn't want to do it. They didn't take it down because they wanted the clicks. And since then, we've pretty much stopped associating in any way. I mean, we weren't associating anyway, but even in terms of conversation, just because our group, the Gaming Hub, is not going to be associated with that. We don't want the Xbox Hub associated with that because we don't stand for that. And if suddenly, like, any site we're associated with did, we leave there too. We would. At least I would. So, that's video game journalism ethics, right? When you talk about that instance, not the case of one person doing something stupid, because in that other instance that I just told you about, a decision was made at a higher level to keep it up for clicks. That's ethics in journalism. This is ethics of one person. So let's not get into the, torches and pitchforks conversation about, video game journalism is a bunch of hacks and, blah, blah, blah. Because that's not fair to them. There are a lot of people that work really hard at not just the big sites like IGN and Kotaku and GameSpot, but even the smaller sites. Work really hard to provide good coverage, and on YouTube and a lot of stuff. So let's not dismiss what they do and discredit what they do because of the stupid actions of one person who doesn't want to own up and take responsibility for what he did. End of rant. Steven, your closing thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, there are issues with, IGN that I will not get into on the show, and there are issues in the video game industry as a whole.
Yeah, for sure.
For ethics. Again, not going to get into it right now, but yeah, it's one dude. IGN did exactly what they needed to do. They took the review down really quick. Within 8 hours of that video going, at least starting to go viral, like it was quick, and then they fired him within 24 hours. And I don't know what else you wanted IGN to do. There's no way they could check to see if this was plagiarism, because like it's a video review. If it was written and if it was stolen from a written site, like even then I don't think you can come.
Yes, you can. You can run a plagiarism search.
Well, I know you could do the turn it in, which is what colleges do, but I assume they don't do that. But I guess.
Well, I bet they will now.
Yeah, I mean,
they're gonna now if they didn't before.
Yep. So, it's just really kind of a bad situation for them. And Philip is really, really not the wisest guy. And I hope he doesn't ever come back in the video game world, because you can't trust him.
Well, he will. He's going to try to run his YouTube channel.
Yeah, and you'll get those people that just like they love when everyone else hates someone, so they watch them. So I bet you he'll have a cult following.
Well, and Steven, you talked about there were some people who were just like, well, I just really like him, Yes,
there was that. Like I saw some dude argue that like, well, he has a kid, so I don't think he should have been fired. Like, who's this Boomstick guy? Like, his little tiny channel, like he doesn't deserve the clicks. I'm like, what kind of argument even is that? You know nothing about him. That doesn't mean he doesn't deserve the work he does. Like, come on. That's
only the monster sites and stuff deserve the views and the clicks.
Apparently,
like that. Speaking as someone who is on a small to mid-sized podcast, we're not Podcast Unlocked. We're not Beyond. Yeah, we're not any of those other monster ones. We're not Giant Bomb or anything like that. Does that mean that we don't deserve listens if we put out good content or work hard? Because we do. We work hard. We try to put out good content. We try to get better every week.
Yep.
Some weeks are great. Some weeks we say to ourselves, man, that could have been better. But that doesn't mean that, take us out of the equation. That doesn't mean that someone that isn't at IGN level yet doesn't deserve recognition for good work. And it doesn't mean it should be stolen by someone who's not willing to put in the work themselves.
Yep.
So,
I agree.
All right. Anything else on that? Because you're going to get me fired up again, even more.
Let's go to a happy topic.
All right. Fallout 76 beta. Graham, calling out Graham. All right, no Graham.
Graham signal. The Graham.
Yep. Send out the Graham signal. It's a giant Zelda in the sky.
Are you sure it's not a Fallout Boy in the sky?
It might be. I'm surprised we didn't get emails about that. They got him on Discord though.
They did.
Yeah, Fallout Boy.
For the resident Fallout fanboy making.
Yeah, I know, right?
Little errors like that. That's like if you called like the main character, the character you play as in The Legend of Zelda.
Well, it'd be like if my favorite character in Smash Brothers is Plumber Guy.
There you go.
So, anyway.
No, Graham, we love you if you're listening.
We love you, Graham.
Back.
Graham, come back soon.
Gentrification.
Yes. Graham sending us pictures of all these like landscapes from Newfoundland and stuff.
From Silent Hill.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, Fallout 76 beta is coming. And it'll be the whole game, and progress will carry over, and that's awesome. There's also going to be mod support, and really exciting, at least for me, private servers. Steven, what are your thoughts? What excites you the most about that announcement?
Private servers, for sure. I mean, those are two separate announcements. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'll play the beta, because again, it's like, okay, I play the game, and then I have to not play it for 3 weeks, and then I get to go play it again.
Yep.
Yeah. Count me out.
Well, at least the wait time will be pretty short. I mean, it's clear though. I mean, we were right when we talked about it that this isn't anything to fix anything in the game. The game's pretty much done to the point of just fixing bugs at this point. I'm sure there are many.
Yeah, this is just player.
This is testing the servers and testing the strain.
Yeah, interaction.
And what it can take. Yep.
That and player interaction.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right on that, by the way. I think they're testing this, or they're going to look and see like all the crappy things people do to each other to try to get fixes for that.
Yeah.
So I think that's really smart if that's the route that they take.
Yeah.
But
no, I just hope the private server thing is not PC only, because like the way I read the article, it was that mod support's coming, and because of mods, you need to have private servers because it's an online game. You can't have someone with a mod and someone without one. So I hope private servers come day one to Xbox. I don't care about mod support on Xbox right away.
I don't either.
Private servers, because then we'll have a private server, and you'll know that you're not as likely to get trolled.
Yeah, if there are private servers on Xbox One, we will absolutely have a private server for our community to get in and play, and not have to worry about the trolling and just the general, douchiness of people out there. So
you want to worry about Graham, guys, because he is just a monster when it comes to that.
Graham's like the ultimate work together person. He is for the most part, except he was like taking stuff in Minecraft, wasn't he?
Yes.
At one point, but that's because he didn't know. Like, once we told him he didn't anymore, he was just really excited about his bridge to nowhere.
It's true.
And by the way, speaking of that, we do have a Minecraft server for our community, absolutely free to play in. If you join in on Discord or Facebook, there's a link and a form to fill out, and we'll email you the code to get in. So if you have any interest in that, want to kill some time in Minecraft and get to know some people in our community, please come and join that. But,
yeah, and also on that topic, Madden 19 just came out. We're going to have a franchise mode if you play on the Xbox. Franchise. So if you want to join us, join Discord or Facebook and send us an email or whatever you want to do, and you can join franchise. And we have the fill out form on both Facebook and Discord.
And I'm going to say I really recommend Discord if you want to take part in Madden, because we have a dedicated Madden channel there, and it's just a lot of fun to talk about stuff, and people get really into it. When we had our tournament going on, by the way, congratulations to Crazy Gamer in our community for winning the Madden tournament, which wrapped up last weekend after we recorded the last episode. So yeah, he was pretty dominant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad I didn't play him.
I'm just waiting to see what team he gets in franchise so I can be in the other conference. And then he brought in his buddy who he says is better than him. We're like, great.
Yay.
But no, we're happy to have everybody in there. And it was actually a lot of fun. And we streamed most of the games. We actually had a pretty good turnout for a lot of them, and a lot of chat going on in the Madden channel on Discord. So if you want to play in that, go into Facebook or Twitch, and then click on the Discord link, and the form is right in there in the Madden channel. You have to scroll up a bit to find it, but it's there, and it's just a quick form to fill out, and we'll get you added. So, all right. Anything else on Fallout 76? Because I know we kind of got sidetracked there. We saw shiny things and went off another direction.
We did.
So,
no, yeah, I'm sure this kind of recovers from the news of Fallout 76 being like rolled out slowly. So it sucks if you're not one of the first people.
Yeah.
And it really sucks if you're trying to play with your friends and like one of you gets access and one of you doesn't, because then one's going to be jealous and then while the other's playing. And like, I hope it'd be really funny if I pre-ordered Fallout 76 and then I got early beta access, and then like Graham is sitting there and he's like the last one to get it.
All right, so let's make a pact right now that if they do what like EA does with their betas, and they say, okay, you're in, and here's a friend code, to give to your friend, that if one of us gets that on the first day, we give it to Graham, because he's the one who wants to play it more than anybody.
Maybe we'll do a giveaway
about it. Because if we don't, he's just going to sit here on the podcast when we talk about Fallout 76, and we'll be like, Graham, what are your thoughts? And he's just going to have his arms full and be like, no.
No, we'll get
Like,
Graham.
no, I don't care. I don't care about it.
The first. He pre-ordered the game like 7,000 times.
He did.
Yeah. Talk about gambling. One of those bound to pay off.
I know. He seriously has, I think, 4 different versions of Fallout 4.
Yeah.
And I think 2 Pip Boys.
Did he? If he
All of a
bought
sudden,
his
Siri
VR,
thought I was
he
talking
would have
to him.
5.
Yeah. Yeah, what happened to that, Graham?
Yeah,
We
Graham.
were going to get HTC Vive or something like a long time ago. And that never happened. Very disappointed.
Very.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Fallout 76 beta. Like, I'll probably play it, not a ton, because I just want to get into the game. But if it's a full game and progress carries over and I don't have to redo everything, that's a little different.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
Yeah,
That was-
and it's a chance to get me into it before Red Dead comes out. So I'm not just like, once Red Dead comes out, I'm not just like, yeah, I'll play Fallout later. You know, it might get me excited for it so that I make time for both. Never know.
That's true. That's true.
All right. Anything else on that before we move on?
No, I think that about does
Okay.
it.
Cool. Well, that's it for news, everybody. And let's move into some releases for the week. And we're going to talk about Xbox first. So, The Walking Dead Telltale series, the final season, comes out on the 14th. So you can get started on that. And is that all the episodes at once, or are they just doing episode 1 and then later on?
That's a good question.
It does not. It actually says, no, it actually does say right below that episode 1.
Okay.
So you'll be able to buy either the season pass or just episode 1, whichever one you want to do. So it is being released episodically again, which is the norm for Telltale. I think everybody's used to that likes those games. So that's happening. I think they said this is going to be the last one to run on the current engine, that they are putting in a new engine for future games. So that's pretty cool. So that is on the 14th. The XCOM 2 collection, also on the 14th. And if you want to play Polygod, that comes out on the 17th. So there's plenty more out there coming out this week on Xbox. So if any of them interest you, join our community. Let us know. And let us know how they are. So, Steven, what you got? Or actually, first, let's talk about the free stuff on Xbox. And that's Death Squared through the 15th. You got a few more days to pick that up. Not many. Forza Horizon 2 all month long through the end of August. And Dead Space 3, Steven, through the 15th. Backwards compatible for Xbox One. So that's that. But that's also in the Vault and EA Access, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you have that, if EA Access lets you play. It's not Madden, so they probably will. But yeah. All right, what do you got for PlayStation?
All right, so PlayStation, we got Death's Gambit on the 14th, and then The Walking Dead, the Telltale series, final season, and XCOM 2. All 3 of those were on the 14th. And then for PS Plus games through the end of the month, you can get Mafia 3 and Dead by Daylight. All right, and then for the Nintendo Switch, on the 14th, you can get Cosmic Star Heroine. On the 16th, you can get Castle Storm. And on the 17th, you can get Detective Gallo.
All right. How about Nintendo? Anything?
That was Nintendo.
Oh, that was Nintendo. I'm sorry. I was doing the math to see how much time we had left here. My apologies. So, any free games on Nintendo?
Not unless they, implemented Purple Rainbow Unicorn, which I don't think they have.
By the way, that's our code word for Virtual Console.
Yeah.
Because Graham says that we don't know, it might be coming.
Yeah.
They just might not say it yet, even though they've said there are, quote, no plans for Virtual Console on the Nintendo Switch. So we just decided to call it that. All right. So we have about 20 minutes for questions. We can get quite a few in. Steven, what do you got?
Well, that's good because we had quite a lot of very
thank
good
you,
questions.
Everybody.
So if yours doesn't get read, it's not because it was bad. It's just because we had a lot of very good questions. So we'll just go down the list, starting with Skylar. What is the best RPG to date? Graham is entitled to his extreme biases. But Graham is not here to tell you his extreme biases, but we can speak for him. He's probably going to say Breath of the Wild or something like that.
Yeah. Actually, do you think he would, or do you think he'd go with like Ocarina of Time?
No, he might go with The Witcher 3, actually.
He might.
Just depending, because I don't know if he count Legend of Zelda as an RPG.
Yeah.
It's really playing a role.
Yeah.
We'll let you go
Oh.
because we know that RPG is your favorite.
No, I'm going to defer to you on this
genre.
because I don't have an opinion. I can tell you which one I hated the least. Maybe I don't. But I
Sure,
don't
do that.
so.
No, do that. Which RPG?
Well,
Because you don't like RPGs that much. Like
No, I
both
don't.
JRPGs or Western RPGs.
No.
So think like Dragon Age or Skyrim. So out
Yeah.
of all of them, which one did you play?
Does Elder Scrolls Online count?
Yeah, I in fact, someone responded to that question on Facebook and said Elder Scrolls Online. So
Okay,
yeah,
then I'm gonna go with that because I actually probably put about 30 to 40 hours into that game. Yep, I'll go with that. That was fun. I enjoyed it, and just sometimes the people you play with ruin it for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Same.
I mean, it was a Momorpa, like it's in that genre.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll count it. I'll count it. Sure. For me, this is a tough question because there's a lot of very good RPGs. So it's not Final Fantasy VII, so I'll just start with that.
Okay.
Chrono Trigger is amazing. I'd almost put that up there on the list. I could put The Witcher 3 because that also did some really, really, really awesome stuff. And oh my gosh, I just blanked on this game. I had something in my head.
This is like those really weird politician interviews where they're like, I have a 3-point plan, and then they can't remember like two of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it is a lot like that because I'm blanking right now on another good RPG. Well, those two are really good.
Okay.
Different genres, of course. One's a JRPG. Oh, I remember. Divinity Original Sin 2 is a phenomenal game. And it's coming out at the end of the month on console. It's already been out on PC. But they had a bunch of lines rewritten for it. It's amazing. I can't wait to replay it. I mean, I never really got that far. I played like 30 hours of it. Didn't finish it because I just don't like playing on my PC. So I'm hoping to play more on my Xbox. But everything I've played of it it's amazing. So those would be my three.
All right.
Because I can't ever have one.
Sounds good.
All right.
What's
So
next?
Jennifer asked, where do you guys see yourself in 5 years regarding production and involvement of new games being developed? Do you want to produce your own game?
Okay, so, man, Steven, do you have any aspirations to make your own game?
I did.
You did.
I
You
did. I did. When I was a computer science major, it was going into this summer. Like, I was thinking back in the fall. No, sorry. It was even before that. It was spring of 2017. I was like, I downloaded Unity. I was playing around with it. I was like, I'm gonna make a game on the Unity engine. And I started some stuff. I started like the tutorial ones just to learn the engine and everything because I like had fun coding. And then summer got just absolutely swamped with work. Not swamped, but I was working 40 hours at like 10 to 6. So like I'd get home at night and I'm like, oh, the last thing I want to do is code.
Right.
And like I never woke up early enough to code anyways. So, and then I switched majors and now and after everything I read in Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, I'm good.
So I've seen like multiple people from different like independent podcasts and stuff like that parlay that into careers in either like the bigger gaming websites or with developers in like community relations or stuff like that, whatever it might be, right? Maybe even in like game design if that's their background. I can't say I have any real aspirations for that, but we can talk about where we'd like to be in 5 years, just in terms of like, it's like creating content and doing stuff like that with the show. So I want to see us continue to grow. I want to see us continue to put out more content with YouTube and Twitch and also, get to like 2 podcasts a week rather than 1, stuff like that. I really do want to see us do that and get better and better and be where we're a mainstay, at E3 every year and maybe get to go to something like Gamescom or PAX on top of that each year. That is all easier said than done, just to be 100% honest with you. It requires a lot of time and effort and all that stuff and a lot of like balancing things between the 3 of us to make all that happen. Ultimately, the more involvement we get from the community and the more support we get from the community, quite honestly, through things like Twitch and Patreon, whatever, helps us do that. So, we don't ask for that stuff because we have dreams of like personal wealth and ruling the world. It's just because we want to do more. So that's why we throw that stuff out there. Because we do want to do more and we have those goals. So, Stephen, what are your goals for us within the next 5 years? Because the next 5 years we'll be at episode 600-700, hopefully, maybe more.
Yeah, you have kind of said everything. By that point, I'll be done with school finally, and hopefully in the middle of my career. But if this blows up, maybe this could be our 3 careers, and maybe living a little closer together and. So we actually can see each other every day would be pretty nice and probably make it easier. And again, just more content creation. Love to see that. Mm-hmm. I like doing podcasts, and I'd love to do another episode a week or what have you. And all our special Patreon episodes are fun to do. So
I can tell you, I think all of us have kind of the goal / dream of being able to do this full time someday, right? And that's just being honest. We would love to do that. And that's why we ask for your support and contributions either through Patreon and Twitch or just by being a huge part of the community and taking part, right?
Yes.
It helps strengthen everything. It's not just about getting out a credit card. That's not what this is about. But if we ever got to that point, we would commit to doing the stuff not to drop any other names, but what Kind of Funny does. They put out a ton of content. And not saying we're at that level yet. We're not. But we continue to strive to get better. So that's where our goals are for the next 5 years.
All right. Next question from Brian asks, is there any way Red Dead Redemption 2 will be a flop?
No. Next question.
Yeah, also no.
I mean, the only way would be if it's so bug-ridden and the servers are just broken. Like Battlefield 4 broken. For online, then that would kind of stain it a little bit, but I don't see any way that Rockstar delivers a dud here. They never do.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. If the game came you had to be online even to play single player, like Diablo 3 was when it released, and then the servers did exactly what happened to Diablo 3 when they released, where you just couldn't get on for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Then I guess that could probably sink in a little bit, but it's Rockstar. GTA is still selling copies today, and that game's been out for 7 years. So I don't think this will be a flop.
No.
I kind of wish Graham was here for his thoughts on this question because.
He's the one who could say yes, but here's the thing: Rockstar knows now from the GTA model that GTA Online breathes so much more life into that game, and they can put the game on sale every single week until the end of time. Because if people buy it for $20 or $15 or $30, it's usually on sale for $30. But,
I've never seen it lower than 30.
Yeah, but $30, then they'll get in and they're gonna spend money on whatever the currency is. I forget in GTA Online because that's what they do. So. Because remember, there's always sales on those bundles too, right? So, yeah, I think they're going to apply that model to Red Dead, and people are so hyped about this game. It's going to sell boatloads on day one.
Yep.
No doubt. All
right. This is a question from Devin asks, between the PS4 and Xbox, which has the best games as far as RPGs are concerned?
That is not a me question.
I know.
That is a you question.
No, it's no question. It's PS4. It's not even close.
Yeah,
Xbox One has no RPGs at all.
They're working on it, but they don't have any right now.
The 360 did. The 360 had quite a few good ones. Final Fantasy came to the Xbox for the first time, and then you had Lost Odyssey, which is another game I absolutely adore. Kingdom Hearts, I guess if you count that as an RPG, is coming, but so it's coming to PlayStation as well. PlayStation just wins. It's not really that close.
Yeah. I agree. And, I just think PlayStation in general has a much more broad selection of exclusive games to play.
Yes, agreed.
So, yeah.
Agreed. All right, Ethan. He said, I haven't heard much talk about fighting games in the podcast. What is everyone's favorite fighting game? And if you do not enjoy them, why?
Well, I don't enjoy them because I suck at them. I turn into a total button masher when I play fighting games. Like, I don't learn the combos and stuff, and I should. I just don't play them enough to do that.
Yeah.
So, but I do appreciate when I see people that are really good playing them.
Yes.
But I'm just not that good. My favorites, man, I really liked Mortal Kombat back in the day. Like the true back in the day Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Not like the one that came out 4 years ago or whatever.
That was a fun game.
It was, but like it was so different back then. Like that started to really spark the whole thing about video games, violence and all that stuff, right?
Yes.
So, because you had like people ripping someone's spine out and stuff like that. And it looked so real in, what was it, 16-bit at the time? So, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, like back then, I remember having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. Mine is Smash Bros. Probably for favorite. But I'm with Tyler. I just don't play them enough to enjoy them. I'd rather play a game for 40 hours and like feel like I'm getting somewhere than spend 40 hours learning a character's combos and counters and all of that. It's just I appreciate that there are people that are really good at fighting games, and I like watching it. I assume this question is because Evo was last week, and I watched throughout this week. I think it was last week and into this week. I watched a lot of Evo this week. I watched Smash Bros. And I watched Street Fighter. And a little bit of Injustice. But I am not good at fighting games, and so I just don't play them.
And the thing is, I mean, just to our community, like, we don't talk a lot about fighting games for the same reason that we don't talk a lot about Fortnite, is that none of us plays it. And if we just talk about it, that would just be for the downloads, and it would be inauthentic.
Yeah, and we wouldn't have anything to say anyways about it.
Yeah, we would just regurgitate stuff that we saw elsewhere. Plagiarism, by the way.
Yeah.
And we don't want to do that. We want to be authentic about the stuff that we're into. We don't want you to tune in because it has like Fortnite in the title or a fighting game in the title of the episode and then hear us just say super vague stuff that doesn't mean anything.
Yep.
Right? So, all right.
All right, next question from Comrade Bro. He said, do you think COD can truly come back?
From what?
From, I don't know, being Battlefield's understudy or whatever. I don't know.
I don't think it was ever down. I think COD is still COD. I think that, the sales numbers have declined a little, but they still sell over 20 million copies a year.
Yeah, but like, I think he means like from the COD 4, Modern Warfare, Blops 1 and 2 days. Like the heydays of Call of Duty. Where everybody wanted to play Call of Duty.
Yes, and I think that's why they're going back to bread and butter series right now. So they went back to World War II, which is going way back, right?
Yeah.
To their origins. And now they're going back to Black Ops again. And I would not be surprised at all if we saw Modern Warfare 4 next year.
Yeah.
At all.
I would not either. Do you think that with the removal of campaign and the addition of Battle Royale, will that help or hurt them?
So here's what I'll say, and I think a lot of people are just like, well, they made the decision right away to pull out campaign. They didn't. They were actually working on a campaign, but they didn't have the time to get it done. That's why it's not in there. This wasn't a like original game design meeting conversation where they're like, no campaign. That decision was made midway through development. So I think we have a question about PUBG.
We do.
As it relates to that. So I want to hold the Battle Royale till then. But yeah, I think the campaign piece, like that was, they originally, in the original, beginning of development of Black Ops 4, they meant for a campaign to be in there. It just didn't work out. So I think this is going to be the test case for how much people really are in uproar over that.
Yeah. I don't think it'll ever get back to the Modern Warfare 2 levels. I just don't see them ever creating a magical game like that, because I don't know. It's just it kind of came at the perfect time. Shooters were still a little like I don't even know the word. Like it to me, Modern Warfare 2 was a great game, but I don't know if it was just because of the gameplay. It also might have been because of what was out around it.
Well, there was no competition.
Yeah.
Well, there was less competition. Like Halo was there, but only on the Microsoft side, on the Xbox side.
Yeah,
so,
and PlayStation's like, what is it, Shadow Zone or something like that, or Killzone wasn't doing amazingly on that side either. So
no,
like
that game has never been like a Call of Duty when it comes to multiplayer.
Yeah. So
and Battlefield wasn't Battlefield yet.
Yep.
So yeah, I just there's more competition now too. That's part of the game, and that's really because of Call of Duty. So yeah.
But I have a feeling this COD will be more closer to what people liked about Modern Warfare and Blobs. It just won't have the player base.
To answer your question, what I think you're asking, my answer would be, I think they've learned their lesson. They're going to stop assuming they can take so many risks, and everybody's still just going to love it. They're back to boots on the ground. They're back to what made Call of Duty the monster that it is in that genre. So from that standpoint, yeah, it's absolutely going to come back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. We can ask Mason's question, which was the PUBG one. Mason Sheep asked, with all the performance issues that PUBG is having and Fortnite taking the younger, unrealistic action audience away, do you think that COD and Battlefield's Battle Royale game modes will be the final nails in the coffin for PUBG?
I think it could be.
Yeah,
I do.
I remember talking about this when Battle Royale was announced with you. I talked about it with you, and I said the same. I knew Fortnite would take over. I predicted that. And then I think Call of Duty will steal everyone else, because if it runs smooth, it's going to be a better game, and people like the people that like Graham, who like the realism, or he said that. I've never seen him actually play PUBG, but the people that like the realism will probably switch over to Call of Duty or Battlefield.
Plus,
because it performs better.
My opinion, and I'm sure you agree with this, Steven, Call of Duty is just a better, more smooth, natural shooter than PUBG is. Like in terms of feel and gunplay and all that stuff.
Yes.
It just is. So if you can make a really good Battle Royale mode with Blackout, it could really spell a lot of trouble for PUBG.
Yeah, I think PUBG is
and they're trying. Like they're coming out with new maps and new stuff, and they're working on the mechanics and doing a lot of that. But it might be too little too late, because Battlefield's going to have it too. So they announced that. So it's just, they're going to be hanging on. And it's neither of those two is going to impact Fortnite at all. Different audience.
Yep, I agree. All right. Tony, 24313, asked, if you could remodel your house after any video game, what would it be? And so I don't know if he means like if you could remodel the house like a house in a video game. So if you took a house from like The Sims, I'm thinking, or if it means you could remodel your house to like be stylized like a video game. So answer whatever way you
So I'm gonna go with the house stylized like a video game. Have you ever seen those like movie theaters people build in their homes?
Yes.
Like the one of like the bridge of the Star Trek Enterprise or Starship Enterprise and stuff like that.
Oh no! Then
Yeah.
I thought you just meant like a normal movie theater.
They're themed.
Gotcha.
Like 100% themed, and it's so cool. And you look at the price tag; they cost like $20,000 or more to do, because the video equipment itself costs like $10,000.
Yeah,
or more. But man, that's a really good question. I'm not gonna say Halo here, because that would be really weird to have that.
Yeah.
And so would BioShock. That would be even more weird, I think. So, man, I'm not sure. Do you have one in mind?
I don't know, themed wise. Like, I think it'd be cool to have like different themed rooms based on different video games. Like
that would be cool.
But I mean, I guess I'd go like pick a house from a video game, and I mean this is probably cheating, but the Sims games, you know, the big mansions that have like fully furnished, you know, I'd take one of those.
That's cheating.
But the Animal Crossing games, those houses look pretty nice too, minus the whole, you know, guy trying to steal all your bells. But the furniture, like, I guess, is that cheating too? That's kind of a bridge between.
Yeah.
If I can't think of a video game house from a video game that I'd like. I'm like, ooh, I wish I lived there. Night Trap.
Okay.
Just kidding.
So I'll say, then since we're gonna cheat, then I'm gonna say I want one from like what was it, like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare from like super in the future, and all the futuristic stuff right now. Sure.
All right.
All right, we got time for one more.
Okay. Let's go here. Rumham, other than the story, what specifically would you like to see them focus on in the upcoming Red Dead?
I want to see the gang dynamic. I really want to see that because last time was sort of just Marston kind of on his own. And you met different people and did the quest lines for different people and whatever. But I just want to see how the gang dynamic sort of evolves and like what that really means to the game. Like, is it going to be the same experience if I don't really do anything with them as it is if I do all the stuff?
Do you think they're going to have like Fire Emblem type? Well, you never played Fire Emblem, but in there you have to like talk to the people and build relationships. Actually, you played Mass Effect though, right?
Yeah, some of
where
it.
If you don't have a good enough relationship, they die, but if you do, they might live.
See, that would be cool.
And so, yeah, I think that, yeah, I hope they do have that, something like that. But I don't know, just make the first game better. The first game was really good. Like that, I could just use more of the same, more stuff to do, I guess, in the world.
Yes.
Because like Grand Theft Auto 5 had like a billion different side activities. You could play golf in the game. In fact, I did. I never played more than like 3 holes before quitting because I don't know. You could play tennis, like stuff like that.
Did you ever play poker in Red Dead?
Yes, I did. I played poker. I played.
That was fun.
My favorite was the dice, the liar's dice. And it's not, and mostly because I knew the game from Pirates of the Caribbean, the second one. So I was like, hey, this game looks familiar. So I played a lot of that, and the knife chopping game, even though I sucked at it.
Oh yeah, that too. Yes.
But
yes, little stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just want to see a lot of little stuff like that. I want to see things where I can sit down to play and have an idea in mind. Okay, I want to advance in the story. Like, I don't know, this far, right? And then after 3 hours, I'm like, I didn't do any of that.
Yes,
because I got sidetracked on all these other things. But it was really fun.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Give me something that gets me as addicted as I was to Gwent in The Witcher.
Yeah,
and I'll be happy.
Yep, that'd be cool. What I'd really like to see, and there isn't co-op in story mode, is there? Like that?
That I don't think so.
I don't think so. That would be awesome if there was, but I don't think there is.
Oh, and I could use heists. I mean, I've talked about this online too,
like
but
the robberies,
the like stealing from the train or stealing from a bank, like that'd be really, really fun.
It would, yes, I agree, and I think we'll see that in online for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, they had it in GTA 5 in the campaign. You did like 3 or 4 heists, so that's what I'd hope to see. And then we already talked about kind of what I want to see from their online, at the beginning of the show. So that's basically it.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, that's all the time we have for questions. Thanks to everybody who sent them in. And if your question wasn't asked, it's still on the list. So watch for it in future weeks, future episodes. We very well may get to it. But if you sent one in, you are entered to win in our monthly giveaway, which we'll be doing here in a couple of weeks. Last episode of the month. So speaking of giveaways, though, we've got one coming next week. And we're going to give away a full $60 game to anybody that's a patron at the $5 or higher level. So if you haven't done that yet and you were thinking about it, please head on over to patreon.com/gaminghub and sign up as a patron, $5 or higher, and you'll be entered to win a full $60 game every single month as long as you stay in at that level. Also, for patrons out there at the $10 higher levels, t-shirts have arrived. I'm just waiting on the mugs for the people who get those, and then we'll get those shipped off to everybody. But those are here and ready to go. Just waiting for the other thing, and then we'll get that shipped off to you as a reward for supporting us at that level. So we really do appreciate everybody who supports us, either on Patreon or on Twitch. And on Twitch, if you use Amazon Prime, you get a free Twitch Prime sub. Use every single month. If you use that on us, we'd really appreciate it. If you don't use it on us, use it on somebody. Help support somebody get better and help them grow. All right. So to join our community, head on over to Facebook, the Gaming Hub forums, or Twitch, TXH Gaming Hub. And when you're there at either one of those, you can click on the link for Discord and join our Discord community, which you'll get some good conversation. So, all right, with that, that's going to do it for episode number 116 of the Gaming Hub. We'll be back next week with 117. Until then, everybody, have a great week. And no Graham next week, right, Steven? Still, that's the last week of no Graham?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so one more week, Graham on vacation, and he'll be back after that. But have a great week, everybody, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye.